Hello, guys. I'm back. And today is Truthful Tuesday. Not only that, it's St. Patrick's Day. Did anyone catch the leprechaun yet? I hope you're wearing green. But you know what? That may not matter if you follow the rules. We are in a state of an emergency. So, touching would probably be off limits. But for leprechauns, who knows? Okay, since yesterday, all kinds of things has happened. We're living in the times that it's hard to tell what we're going to wake up to. However, from our president, we should not be around any groups larger than 10. Now, and this is due to the coronavirus. Yesterday and today, I had to go out both days. And I kid you not. That was so exhausting and so tiring. Trying to weave myself through people, keep a distance from people. And I mean, I needed to stop at the Dollar General yesterday, and I just said, forget that. The parking lot was packed. So I went back to the Dollar General today. Only thing I needed was some ibuprofen, and that was the cheapest place to get it. So that's what I was going to stop yesterday for. Well, that's what I stopped today for. And they had stocked yesterday. And today, if it was a paper product, it was gone. Okay? The shelves was cleared out. And they stocked it yesterday. I was like, wow. So I went to the grocery store. I had to pick up some groceries. There was several people in the grocery store, but I try to keep my distance. And that has been the lowest supplies I have ever seen inside this grocery store. The vegetables was pretty well stocked, but everything else, no. There were meats and stuff. Prices has went up, and I was like, wow. I had never seen it like that before. So, if you can refrain from going to the grocery store, I would do it. I'm not sure if the carriers, such like maybe Instacart or Grubhub, I don't know if those people are still working. Walmart delivers. I would have stuff delivered if I could possibly do that, and not like something that you immediately run out of, but I would have it delivered. That would be a good idea. But today being Truthful Tuesday, what do we know? What do we know about the virus? Well, we know the virus spreads before you get symptoms. That's what makes it so dangerous. And that's why there is the panic. So, what I would suggest is keep yourself home if you can, possibly. I do know that the schools today, well, in my area anyway, it took an effect for delivering food for the students. They actually delivered it, or you could go by and pick it up. You couldn't go into the school. It was like a drive-through thing, and you pick it up. That is a plus. From what the president said, we have to be really careful and keep congregational things down to 10 and under, or better, under 10. So what I did when I went into the gas station today, there were several people in a line as soon as you walk through the door. So I went all the way to the back of the line and I allowed probably a good 10 foot, 12 foot in front of me and the person. Everybody was kind of piled up on each other. Um, the workers are doing great. They are sanitizing everything after handling money and after being handed money. I noticed that. I also carried some disinfectant wipes with me as well. I wiped everything down. I wiped my hands. I wiped the grocery buggy down. I also wiped my steering wheel. And anything that I brought into the house that anybody else had pretty much touched, I kind of wiped down. My children helped me carry things, so immediately I got them to wash their hands as soon as they put the bags down. Um, Again, guys, protecting yourself and protecting others is a must. What I do want to stress is the elderly. Grandma and grandpa, great aunts and uncles, people that we love dearly. Even though that we want to see them, we probably need to keep our distance from them and keep a check on them quite often. The younger crowd, they was talking about the millennials. The millennials, go in and out of places and they're very social. So what we need to do is learn to be the opposite, maybe a little antisocial without the attitude. Um, that way that we can contain as much of this issue that we can and we don't put anybody else's life at jeopardy. I mean, you would feel horrible if you knew that you carried something in on your grandparent or an elderly person that you love. So that would be the adult thing to do or the responsible thing to do is to make sure that you go above and beyond and be hygiene friendly around those people. Another thing that I seen today that was happening is that McDonald's has shut the doors to eating inside. You can only go through the drive-thru. There are several other restaurants that are doing the same. So if you're going to eat out, you would be going through the drive-thru. A lot of the larger franchises and stuff like that will not be accepting customers to come inside and eat. I did catch that there's a national curfew, but I don't know what that curfew is. I do know that my county, where I live, did announce that we're under a state of an emergency as of today, and all county offices, including the Department of Motor Vehicles, will be closed to the public to be able to keep the public safe and, of course, the office officials as well. Remember, guys, to be mindful of other people around you. I did a video before. I had told you guys about the lady that was like projectile throwing up in the middle of town at a stoplight in a truck. And there was a lady behind me with the window down. My window was down. Today, I was walking through the parking lot, and this gentleman just hucked a big loogie and spit out to the side, but kind of back of him, and I was behind him. Keep your distance of others. You got to be mindful, not just for yourself, but for other people, because other people may not be thinking at the moment. Things that will help is avoid public restrooms. I rode for 40 minutes today until I got home so I could use the restroom in peace of mind. So avoid public areas um, when you got to go to the restroom, and at all means as much as you can. Also, too, most bars and places like that are shutting down. Um, so there's still could be some like mom and pop shops and stuff like that are open. I seen today on my way home that a little pizza joint, not too far from my home, there was people in there still eating and stuff like that, which is perfectly fine as long as you're mindful and keep your distance. However, there has been infected cases in all states. Yesterday was all states but one, which was West Virginia. Today, they got their first confirmed case. So there are cases in all 50 states right now at the moment. However, there has been none in my area, but in Virginia, it was like 67 cases, I believe. However, that will change. They are setting up places where you can go and be tested, kind of like a drive-through operation again. I do believe, however, you got to be registered. So, the number or however you register should be supplied in your general area. Um, the on an additional note about being mindful, remember that these people that are working in these places, the gas stations, and everything that's operating right now, it is very stressful on them as well because they are dealing with the public hand in hand, literally. So be mindful of those things too, and other people around you rather than just, the elderly and stuff. I mean, it's really, really, it's a numbers game, guys. And it is, lack of good hygiene knowledge. Um, this virus does spread very fast. Um, the symptoms can hide for days, and some people don't get symptoms at all. But for something that um, one person can just wing it and like whatever, could be death to another person because everybody's different. Everybody's got different health concerns and conditions going on. So we just don't know. You can't tell who's carrying it and who's not because nobody comes with a diary attached to their butt. So, again, guys, be very mindful. That is the main thing to get through this. And another thing, too, that kind of struck me like in awe was I was watching the news and they were talking about the people getting guns, and it was like one of the all-time high, and ammunition and stuff like that. So now people has went from panic mode to, I'm going to get this, to protection mode. Which, everybody should be able to feel security. But, you know, don't go out harassing your neighbor for their toilet paper or whatever it is that you lack and they have. It's just silly and it's crazy. Just use common sense. I mean, I know you can't teach common sense, but we all are born with the brain, so we do have common sense. We just got to learn how to use it. But yeah, that kind of struck me. I was like, okay. But that's pretty much the sum up, guys. I mean, I'm exhausted. I am totally, totally wore out. This has been an adjustment to my home. And LJ and Icy is like full throttle all day long. And LJ thinks, well, I ain't got no school, la da 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 da. But, I had to break the news to him today that on Thursday, he's going to have schoolwork to do at home. That's another thing. They're starting homeschool, ways to communicate with the children and the children to do work at home. So, but I waited till, later in the evening to tape this and get this out to you guys to kind of see, like, what else is going to happen. What else within a day's time. And, the numbers with them testing people are going to go up completely. I met a lady today that her husband passed away about a year ago, a little over a year ago. And she said that he had like a cold. They thought he just had a cold. He wasn't running a fever or anything like that, but he had a cold. And then he got kind of like congested, coughing and hacking and all that stuff, So he did not have no insurance. He would not go to a doctor. He wasn't old enough yet for the Medicaid or the Medicare. But he was pretty stubborn. And she said that she had went to donate, and she come back because she usually goes twice a week. And she come back home that evening. He had ate some soup, some chicken noodle soup actually, and he had put his pajamas on and he had laid down. He hadn't really been out of bed all day. He had woke up and he had got dressed, but he just, he didn't feel sluggish, didn't feel good, and he pretty much stayed in bed. So he put his PJs on and he had laid back down after he had ate. She said she heard him coughing and stuff and went and checked on him. He was fine. He said he was cold. So she covered him up with several blankets that she had laying there. And he had finally gotten warm and said he felt better and he went off back to sleep. Then all of a sudden he just rose up, yelled out. It scared her. She run in there and she asked what was wrong. What was wrong? He said, I can't breathe. He had raised up out of the bed and then fell back down. And her son was there or was close by, got there before the life-saving crew. And he had done CPR on him and stuff all the way up until they got there. He was still alive, but the hospital drive was probably about 15, 20 minutes away. And by the time she had got to the hospital, he had passed. And he had passed, they had called it some type of acute respiratory illness. So, it was just that quick. So you know what? Most likely, this has been here. Or, it's just something mutated. But either or, this is really bad. And we got to protect ourselves to protect others. It's common sense. So if you're feeling bad, go get tested. There's no charge for it. Everybody can get tested. You just got to register first. But guys, this is it for today. I'm tired. I need to edit and upload. And I'm going to relax for the rest of the evening. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their St. Patrick's Day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button and ding that bell so you can get all of my videos. While you're there, give me a thumbs up. And guys, this has been Becca, and you've been watching The French Fry Truth. See ya.